What's happening, Wisdom Warriors of Light? Back at it for another video. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I know I haven't been posting regularly like I used to. Get prepared. I've been resting a lot. I've been taking a lot of rest for myself, to be honest. This week, well, let's go into it. Like Saturday, I went to yoga, hot yoga, and I started feeling my lower back, and I knew, like, more and more I think about it as I look back and I reflect how hard I pushed myself on Wednesday, and then it kind of really felt it by Saturday. And the more I think about it and the more I've thought about it this week, taking the time to slow down and rest, I needed the rest. My body was like calling out, "Yo, I need to rest, man. You're doing too much. You're and Wednesday was super intense. It was a power yoga, and I've just had enough time to reflect that right now that's not for me. And I'm going to try to arrange my schedule to do more of the deep stretching and the slow yoga positions and slow stuff, because that's where I need to be right now. And somehow I want to work in some kind of strength training or a little bit, or cardio, to get my heart rate up, which I'm going to look into some other avenues for that. But I just wanted to get that out of the way, and I wanted to mention that to you all. I've taken some time this week and needed to slow down and rest. And not that I haven't been doing other things, but I've been continuing to do automatic writing and channeling, and a lot more to come on this channel, which I'm going to unveil. And I'm working on some things, like I said, so stay tuned. Much more to come. I'm here at the park taking in some of this beautiful scenery, just some gorgeous nature. And yeah, it's definitely been much needed. I was starting to feel it, like, during the class it just didn't feel right, and then as the day went on, it got tighter and tighter, my lower back, which, if you go by Louise Hayes's work and some other individuals like Soul Speak from Dolores Cannon's daughter, Julia Cannon, a lot of them talk about the lower back is lack of feeling support. But it also, things can, look, the bottom line is there can be a feeling of lack of support in the physical realm. Oh, that's beautiful. I don't know if you guys got to see that, but all these birds just jumped off that bridge into the water, a whole flock of them. But so what happens is, what tends to happen is, where your weakest points are, your stresses go to. So the more places that you have a weakness in your body, the more that essentially that's where it's going to target, it's going to go to, and so that's kind of what happened. I had a weak point, and in my lower back, which I'm beginning to notice it getting strength, or stronger and strengthening. I can tell you with a lot of certainty, I just got back from the chiropractor before coming here, and basically, the chiropractor stated that that he can tell that my back is moving much better, and I can also feel, I used to feel like a kind of, I don't know if you can see the crow up there, but I could feel like a like kind of like, almost like they call it like sciatica, like where it runs from your lower back down your leg, the side, down kind of your hamstring area. And I would feel that all the time as I was walking and everything else, and I don't feel it anymore. It's completely subsided. So the deep stretching that I've been doing in the yoga has been working immensely. So I can't say it enough how grateful I am and thankful, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna definitely pay much more attention to my body and what it needs and when it needs it, and you know, just slow down with it, you know. And you know, again, I started to realize, you know, more and more that I got disconnected from my body to an extent, and I wasn't fully present. But I also want to bring up another interesting thing that has been occurring for me. I've been doing breath work a little bit earlier. Like today I started at like, I would say like 4:40 a.m., maybe 4:30, somewhere around there. I pretty much did what I had to do first, and then I did the breath work without like going to a deeper meditation. And what I started to notice is my mind started going into the future and into the past, but more so into the future. And so what then occurred was, as I continued doing the cycles, the circular breathing, I noticed as I continued to do it, my breath was pulling me out of the future and bringing me into the present moment. And I noticed as I continued to do it, and after maybe 10 minutes or so longer into it, it stopped happening, and I stayed present. And I knew at that moment I was consciously breathing, and I was consciously aware of me breathing. And so, yeah, this has happened now several times this week, where when I laid down to start breathing, my mind was going into the future and maybe a little bit into the past, but not really into the past so much. It was more into the future. And lo and behold, as I continued breathing and going through those circular breathing cycles, I was pulled into the present moment, into the now. I was pulled out of my head and into my heart. That's what I wanted to, that's the word I wanted to use, because when we are in the future and in the past, we're not in our hearts, we're in our heads. And we're constantly thinking like, how am I going to figure this out? How am I going to pay this stuff? How am I going to do this? That's all in your head. That's not in your heart. That's not being dropped in the heart. When you're in the heart, you don't think about those things. There is no fear. And so the more you can notice when you're in thought and you're reveled in this thought, and the broken records and things are playing out over and over again, like, what do I do? What do I do next? How do I do this? I need this job. I need to pay this. I need to get food on the table. I need to, you know, what's next? You know, that's all thought. That's all you up in your head. And I used to remember people I used to date. I remember them constantly telling me, why are you always in your head? And it's like, females are very conscious of when they're in their head. They're a lot more in the heart than they are in their head. Now, granted, and mind you, there is ones that are, and I'm not going to say everybody, and I'm not categorizing anything or any type, because there's men too that are. But you find women are so much more conscious and let's say like in their heart much more than the men are. Men are in human form, because again, we have masculine and feminine. So, you know, we both have both. I just mean in the human form, just because of some of the things that women deal with, like pregnancy and the time of the month and things like that. I feel like that keeps them much more present. But again, there's plenty of women that aren't. So, you know, but there's just a lot of ones I dated, they knew right away, oh, you're in your head, you know, and I've heard a lot of people tell me that over time. So with that being said, man, I hope you guys get something out of this video, man. Enjoy nature, get out in nature, find your breath. I love you all. Please subscribe, share, comment, and like. I will see you in the next video. Until then, from my heart to yours, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you in the next video. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors of Light. We got this.